The key word here is temporary. Temporary. So, yes, we could all say at some point in time, by this definition, yeah, I was lazy. But I don't believe people in this building are lazy. We've been productive. We are constructive. We do things. We go about our business. There's things we do at home. And I'm always amused that people say, well, Monday's wash day, and Tuesday's sweep day, and Wednesday's this day. You know, and they all have all these, that's the day for it. And in the olden days, I remember doing some visitations with people where I remember going to their house, and the woman would have her dress on. They wore dresses back then even to work in. This is old times now. And they would be doing, and you would interrupt them. You would interrupt them on their sweeping day, or their, I'm doing laundry, or something like that. And so there's a day that they had. So when you think of this definition, yeah. But there's something more important I want to drive and drill down into, because in Proverbs chapter 26, verse 13, we'll start with. In Proverbs 26, verse 13, this is out of the King James Version. I got another version here about the Christian Bible and stuff. I sort of like it because it says, the slacker says. But the King James says, the slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way, a lion in the streets. As the door turneth upon his hinges, so doth the slothful upon his bed. The slothful hideth his hand in his bosom. It grieveth him to bring it again to his mouth. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. Now, let's look at a couple things here. Because the Bible is very clear about this, but I don't believe that it's pointing fingers at people. I believe it's given us an illustration of how people can become slackers or lazy if they're permitted to. Now watch this, because this is really good for us, because when I get all done, and in the next few minutes, I want to drill down to where we are spiritually rich and we're spiritually not lazy. Now somebody can say, well, that means I have to read my Bible, that means I have to go to church, I have to pray. That I'm not being spiritual lazy, I'm doing my spiritual tasks. Those are my chores. On the morning I get up and I read, and then maybe in the evening you pray, or you pray over your meal, and then at night before I lay my head on the pillow, I pray again. I'm doing my spiritual exercise. Your calisthenics, as they used to call them in elementary school, we're working out for Jesus. We're doing that. When we look at some of these things, and we look at the very first one here, it says, the slothful man saith, there's a lion in the way, a lion in the streets. When we look at this, and it's interesting because I'm going to say all in the book of Proverbs tonight. For these few verses, I think they're all in the book of Proverbs. So we're going to jump to Proverbs 22:13. 22:13 also says, the slothful man saith, there's a lion without, I shall be slain in the streets. So the directive that the Proverbs writer has given us is that literally we can create all kinds of reasoning and excuses for not doing what we should be doing. So there's all kinds of reasons. It might be, it might be one of these. You know, Brother Tim, I'm really busy right now. You know, oh, what are you doing? Well, I'm looking at social media. I'm looking at Facebook. I'm texting. You know, I got to respond to this. So we can find all kinds of reasoning and rationale. Even if we throw away the idea of social media, texting, and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of times when I just really would like this. This is so good. Come on now, we got to get done this. We got to get this done, this done, this done, this done. Yeah, I'll get to it. My grandfather used to have a hat that said somewhat to the effect that he could lay down beside work and not be afraid of it. And if anyone knew my grandfather, he worked all the time. So when the Bible begins to suggest, here's a man that says, there's a lion, sort of makes me think of some of them little animation stories that we used to tell our kids, and Mother Goose and all that. You know, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. So we better not go outside, okay? So here he says, there's a lion without, I shall be slain. So, wow, that really sounds legit. That sounds like a good reason, man. We better not go out because we might be eaten alive to it. Now, let's go to the next one. One of my favorite as I read it because it says, a door turns on its hinges. I love that. I love that because I love doors. I'm like a nutcase about doors because doors talk to you. You're thinking, yeah, he's a nutcase, man. No door talking to me. The only thing it does is hit me in the face, or if I walk into. No, they talk to you, because now you have that door in your house or a place, and all of a sudden the door, you open it up, and then it goes shut. Well, wait a minute. My door don't have automatic closers, so there's something wrong there. The door shouldn't come shut. The door, if I open it, should stay open. If I close it, it should stay closed. And then this time, especially when you get into June and July and August and September, when the humidity is so high, doors begin to swell. And our door in the front of our house is like